And thank you so much for streaming with us. I'm Gio Benitez. It is good to see you. In for Linsey Davis. We're going to begin here with that historic signing of a ceasefire deal in Gaza. President Trump brokered an end to the war between Israel and Hamas alongside world leaders in Egypt, though the Israeli prime minister was notably absent. The president called today, quote, a new beginning for the entire Middle East. After 738 days, Hamas handed over 20 surviving Israeli hostages in a convoy of Red Cross vehicles. They crossed back home into Israel and into the arms of their loved ones. Finally, after 2 years apart, look at that right there. Joy for families who never lost faith that this day would come. And in exchange in Gaza, another long-awaited reunion, the return of some 2,000 Gazans. Some were serving sentences, others were detained by Israel without being charged. It is a defining moment on the world stage for President Trump, who spoke to Israel's parliament today.
And after so many years of unceasing war and endless danger, today the skies are calm, the guns are silent, the sirens are still, and the sun rises on a holy land that is finally at peace, a land and a region that will live, God willing, in peace for all eternity.
But there are cracks in this fragile peace agreement, and the text itself is largely symbolic. Israel's defense minister said Hamas has already failed to meet its commitment by releasing only 4 of 28 bodies today. And Israel has not fully withdrawn. That's another term of the 20-point plan. 67,000 Palestinian lives have been lost in this war, and much of Gaza is just unrecognizable. You can see it right there. But the president declared today that, quote, now the rebuilding begins. We have team coverage right now, but all of it spanning from Tel Aviv, Israel, to that peace summit there in Egypt. And we're going to begin here with Ian Pannell in Tel Aviv.
It's the moment Israel's been waiting for 2 years. All 20 living Israeli hostages who were being held in Gaza, tonight home in Israel. In Hostage Square in Tel Aviv, tens of thousands gathering to watch the emotional moments unfold. Early this morning, Hamas releasing the hostages from captivity. Families speaking to their loved ones for the first time in 2 years. Some even before they were handed over to the Red Cross in Gaza. Before finally being reunited. Matan Zangauka's mother leapt into his arms. An embrace they've both been dreaming of. Guy Gilboa Dalal's family jumping for joy. Screaming his name again and again. Also among the 20 living, Eitan Horn, who was kidnapped from kibbutz Nir Oz while visiting his brother on October 7th. His brother, Yair, was released in February. A few days before the release, his father, Itzik, telling me he was still unsure if his son would actually come home. Today, his dream came true. The return is part of this fragile first phase of President Trump's 20-point peace plan for Gaza.
And after so many years of unceasing war and endless danger, today the skies are calm, the guns are silent, the sirens are still. This is the historic dawn of a new Middle East.
This latest US brokered ceasefire deal called for the release of all 48 hostages, dead and alive, and for the release of 2,000 Palestinian prisoners jailed in Israel, some convicted, but others held without charge. Riding atop buses, winding through the throngs of cheering Gazans, former prisoners not waiting to get off, reaching through windows to tearfully hug loved ones. Others carried aloft through bombed-out streets. This deal also requiring Hamas to return the bodies of 28 people murdered during and after the October 7th attack, including 2 Americans, Omer Neutra and Itay Chen. But only 4 bodies were returned today. 1,200 people were killed on October 7th, 2023, many murdered in their homes. 251 were taken hostage. It was a day that shocked the world. The hostages were held deep underground in a vast network of tunnels. No light, little food or medicine, let alone any social contact. This Hamas video from August showing an emaciated Eviatar David, so weak he could barely talk or dig his own grave as Hamas forced him to do. While over their heads, the war raged and Gaza was reduced to rubble in a ferocious military campaign. So much of Gaza razed to the ground. Israel launching its biggest and longest offensive in its history. 2 years of bombing, killing 67,000 people, according to the Hamas-run health ministry. 90% of Gaza's 2 million residents have now been displaced. At least 250,000 people tracking back along the dusty coastal road to Gaza City last weekend, according to Gazan officials. The landscape unrecognizable. Mahmoud says his home is destroyed, telling our team, "I thought about not going back. Going back is better than staying here." And much-needed supplies finally flowing across the border to try to ease the pressing famine. For 2 years, there were ongoing weekly protests throughout Israel, pressuring Prime Minister Netanyahu and his government to end a war they saw as jeopardizing the hostages. The largest protest on Saturday, hundreds of thousands taking to the streets, celebrating the announcement that the hostages would finally be returning home. But the longer-term fate of this ceasefire remains unclear. Phase 2 of President Trump's peace plan already being discussed amongst world leaders at a peace summit today in Egypt.
Phase 2 has started, and the phases are all a little bit mixed in with each other. They're going to start cleaning up. You look at Gaza, it needs a lot of cleanup.
The reconstruction will require billions of dollars. Who will pay for it and who will rebuild it? Still to be discussed. As is, who will actually govern this land and its citizens. But for today at least, joy for Palestinians and Israelis. Joy for Eviatar David held in that tunnel. Today, his hands making the shape of a heart.
And our thanks to Ian there.